Pop Culture with Pat, here with Katherine Mallen Kupferer, talking about all things the upcoming film Ghostlight. Great to meet you today, Katherine, and congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So to just kind of start things off, can you just talk about how you initially got involved with the project and what was it about Ghostlight that made you go, okay, this is a project that I really need to be, involved in?
Well, so the screenwriter Kelly O'Sullivan, she originally wrote it for my dad with my dad in mind as Dan. And I found out about it and he said that there was a role for his daughter, which had the exact same age as me. And I was like, well, can't you ask, like, can't you ask if Catherine could audition or something? And he eventually did. And then I did a reading of it with everyone, a table read. And then they asked if I would like to do it from there. And after reading the script, I thought it was such a great screenplay. And I was like, I can only imagine what this will look like once it becomes the real movie. So I was super excited. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got to watch the movie and it's such a beautiful, story. You guys should definitely be, proud of the work that you guys did with this film. And that's really cool how that kind of all came together where it was, written for him and then, you guys all ended up getting involved. You've gotten to work with your parents previously separately on like different projects, but for this one you got to, work with both of them. So what was it like just you guys getting all to work together on the same project? I'm sure you must have had fun getting to be kind of the rebellious teen, especially with like certain scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah. There are definitely some things in the movie that I'm not like allowed to do in real life, especially in front of my parents with the cursing. And there's a scene where I'm vaping in front of them, and it's just like it was fun to do because they can't be like, "Oh, Catherine," and start yelling at me.
It's in the
Um,
script.
exactly. So, but also I think acting with my parents, it was such a one in a lifetime experience. I feel like something that I'm going to treasure for the rest of my life because we had this already, made chemistry in this bond that I think when I watch the movie, it comes through. And it's not like we had to work to create anything. And I think that really made it easier for me to be more natural on screen. So I think that was really great for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that you guys get a chance to work on, projects together all as a family. Like I said, I know you've gotten the chance to do like separate, projects with like either your father or your mother before, but yeah, I can only imagine just being like, oh, mom, like mom, dad, it's in the script. Like don't even, don't worry about it. At what point, whether it was either, reading the script or it was even maybe getting ready to finally do like a specific scene, did you really kind of have a true understanding of who your character was?
Um, I think that it was when I was filming. I think that Daisy really has a pretty big character arc during the movie, and that was a little bit more difficult for me to do. I think really getting into her mindset of just losing someone in her family was a bit more difficult because, that's I it's harder for you to play that sort of emotion. I think the anger part of it was a lot more easy. It was a lot easier for me to do as an actor because I think in real life that's how I express my emotions more than, that really a vulnerable, innocent sort of way. And I think to do that, I worked with my parents on it, and I also worked with Alex and Kelly on how to really help that come across on camera. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask, like, so you kind of like answered there. I was going to ask you, like, what aspects of playing, your character Daisy, did you feel that came the easiest to you? And then I was going to say, like, what aspects maybe challenged you most as an actor overall, and just kind of like what kind of prep work that you did for the character? Could you
Yeah,
kind of explain a
so
little bit?
yeah, but also I think my dad and I have a pretty close relationship, and so I think the scenes that I mean, there's a couple scenes in the truck where I'm like kind of goofing off with him, and those were really close to home, like something that I could definitely see happening with us. But also some of the harder work, like I said, was that sort of emotional journey and picking out someone from my real life that I could place um as my brother. However, I think the other hard part was the Shakespeare. I had never done Shakespeare before, and I do quite a bit of it, and that's one thing that we really worked hard to prepare. Like my mom helped me really, like a month before we started shooting, she printed out the prologue because I do the prologue and I do the King's speech, the Prince's speech at the end, and so we worked pretty hard on that because if you don't understand what it's saying, then it's really not going to go well for you.
Exactly. I mean, that's totally understandable too. It's not like Shakespeare is exactly like the easiest thing to, to perform. So I can understand wanting to make sure that you get it right. And you mentioned, just some of the scenes like with your dad and stuff like that in the truck. Was there a lot of improvisation in the film, or did you guys kind of stick pretty close to the script? I'm just curious where you guys kind of had that natural chemistry with each other.
Yeah, I think really some people have asked us this, and the truth is the script is so well written that there is very, very few like improvisation parts in the film because it's just totally how normal people every day would talk. It has such a great flow to it.
Yeah.
There are some parts like in the truck, for example, there I put on his construction hat and his glasses, and I had done that when we first got in the truck and no one was filming, and my dad was like, no, no, you should do that um, when the cameras are on. And so I
Yeah.
did. So that was just totally something that we did
Those
as,
little
yeah.
those little
Yeah.
moments like that in the film. So Dan, your father, he finds a connection in theater, specifically Romeo and Juliet. So I'm curious for you, Catherine, as an actor, what are some of your favorite films, and why do you have such a connection to those specific movies?
Yeah, I think my two top films are Little Miss Sunshine and Stand By Me. And I
Classic.
love both of those films because I think in Stand By Me, I watched it when I was closer in age, when I was like 12, 13 to the boys. And those like going on an adventure with your friends, but then not turning out to be as great as you thought it would be. And I just love the way I just love that movie, and I think and I rewatch it all the time. And then Little Miss Sunshine is just I think it's so beautiful and so well done. And again, it's just something that I just watch over and over again, and I'm just shocked by like things that I figure out in all the different ones. One thing that I watched really recently was the Florida Project,
Yep.
which again, like that sort of innocence, and her, yeah, I really loved the Florida Project. And one thing that I found really interesting about that was after I watched it, I did like all this, looking up and researching like all the actors, and it was like they pulled real people, like the mom was like not an actor, she was, just this like real person. And I thought that was so interesting to just get these real experiences, and I think that's something that I really like is um so down to earth, really normal real life films that you can be like that could definitely happen, or I could see that happening somehow.
Yeah. I would say it just adds to like the authenticity. And then as an audience member, I just feel a lot of times, yeah, you're able to connect with those,
Yeah.
even more. You come from, a theatrical background. So what was it like kind of getting to step back into this world for the play of Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, so I definitely think as of right now I've done more on camera stuff, but at in Ghostlight and as the Romeo and Juliet portions, it was like all a bunch of almost everyone except for Dolly was a Chicago actor.
That's cool.
Um, but she was an actor, she was a theater actor in the Philippines for some time. And so I think, for me, it was this like feeling of this family, And I think that's something that you definitely feel in theater. And I th as Romeo and Juliet, I've never done Shakespeare. I've never done anything like that. Um, and so that was kind of fun to do for the first time, even though it was just bits and pieces. It was pretty fun to do because that's something that as a theater actor, you definitely study for some, portion in school or something like that. So that was cool to do too.
Would you love to do some, like if going like future, would you love to do some like Shakespeare and like theater?
I don't know. It's
It's a
definitely a
lot.
taste. I think I don't know if I would do a whole play talking in, Shakespearean language. That's a little bit much, but I like, in school I read we had to read Romeo and Juliet in ninth grade English class, and I really liked doing that and reading that kind of how these themes are still relevant in like hundreds of years ago and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And what about working with Kelly and Alex? Just what about them make them stand out as directors for you, and just kind of what did you learn from working with them on this project?
Yeah, Kelly and Alex um were so incredible. I think that they complement each other so well and they work well together. Like um, you know, Kelly or Alex would be saying something and then, say, "Oh, Kelly, what's your thoughts about that?" And that just and they gave me such freedom as an actor to, play different things. And also I felt so comfortable working with them and like I could ask them or talk to them about any questions that I had and that they would take time. And they had such respect for each other and they brought such great people and they surrounded them with such great artists. And I think that really, carried out into how me and my parents and everyone else worked on
It's always
set.
great when you have a collaborative, environment like that, for everyone like involved in the project. And just to kind of to wrap things up for you, Catherine, is there anything else that you would like to say, about working on the project? A lot of people are gonna finally get a chance to, see this with its upcoming wider release. So is there anything else that you'd like to say?
I just hope people, really like it, and I hope that they are able to connect with it the way that a lot of audience members have been able to. And I'm super excited for it to be released.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, getting to watch it. It's, one of my favorite films of the year so far. So congratulations to you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you so much for your time today, Catherine. It was great meeting you. And yeah,
Yes, it was lovely
congratulations on the
meeting you.
film.
Thank
Thank you.
you.